Whoa, I look like I just woke up. What? I did not. I did not. I got a sun blister on my lip, so I apologize for that showing up. But we are here. We made it. I have OCD, just FYI sometimes. And like, if things are not perfect in my screen, I freak out. Does anybody else have that? Anybody? Please tell me you do. Please tell me you have OCD as well with me. Okay. Welcome, Untangled, episode 10, July 5th. How are you guys doing? How is the sound? I feel like $1,000,000, like I'm on drugs, but I'm not. How are you guys? I feel so freaking good today. Holy Moses. I feel like a brand new woman. You know that song by Shania Twain? How are you guys doing? How do you guys feel? Heavy energy in Kenya. I travel Kenya with kids. What do you do? Are you traveling the world with your children or do you go and help children in different countries? Curious. I really want to get to Kenya. A really good friend of mine just moved there. He loves it. I'm all over the place. I just lost my loved one 3 days ago and it wasn't supposed to happen. I'm so sorry, Sunny D. I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling great. I'm happy in the sunshine. I feel beautiful. I feel electric. Woo woo. I feel like $1,000,000. All right. I got COVID for the first time since whatever, all feeling like crap. COVID will make you feel a lot of different things. That is for sure. I feel heavy and exhausted. I feel sticky. That's a great word, Sean. I feel sticky. Food poisoning. Oh gosh, Nick, that's not good. I ran a sweat lodge for a bunch of priestesses. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. I love sweat lodges. Changeable. I'm feeling amazing compared to last month. I feel great. I'm feeling disconnected. All right, let's get started. Can we talk about self-sabotage? My partner and I separated yesterday and I can't beat it. Eileen, I can't bear it. Listen, one of the things that I was feeling and I'm continuing to feel a lot right now is that things are going to be pulled from us. You know, one of the things that happens, I want to share a little bit about what I was going through the last couple of weeks, but one of the things that happens when we start to create from this higher version of us that I always call the higher self is that we have this idea that we know how things are going to go, right? So we're like, okay, I want more happiness in my life, or I want more abundance, or I want to step into my purpose work, or I want to have more peace in my life, whatever it is, right? And so the higher self is like, yay, oh my God, you're ready. And then guess what the higher self does, which is a version of you, it starts pulling things out of your life that is blocking you from receiving it. And it's things that are being pulled out of your life, perhaps, that you weren't expecting to be pulled out of your life. And so then you start thinking, oh my God, something's wrong. This shouldn't be happening. Why is this happening? You forget, pretty sure you just created and intended something in your life, right? And we're going to start pulling all of these things, or you're going to start pulling all these things out of your life, perhaps, that were blocking you. So we forget how this works. We forget how this energetic dance works. That's why it's so important to start remembering over and over again that nothing's an accident and everything is designed to be seen, observed, felt, and then chosen, meaning you're now going to choose how you're going to show up in the world based on what you're experiencing over and over and over again. So anywho, I literally feel like I'm on drugs. Okay, so I was in Florida for the last 3 weeks. I was supposed to go for about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 days. I usually don't travel longer than a week. Um, so anywho, I kept extending my trip and extending my trip, and I was by the ocean in Florida, and I just kept going in the water every morning and every afternoon and every evening, late at night. I'd go skinny dipping in the ocean, and it was So healing. Um, a friend of mine and I were in the ocean the other night, and it was pretty shallow. You have to go really far out to get into the deep. And ps.com. I don't hold a lot of fear in my body, meaning I don't have a lot of fear in life. So I'll just do things and not think like, oh, this is going to do this or this, there's this or whatever, right? So when I first got to Florida, I was going in the water at night with my friend and I wasn't afraid. I was like, this is awesome. Let's go way out there, you know. And then my friend's like, you do know that there's sharks. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, the sharks come out at night and then they think your leg is something else and then they bite your leg. And I'm like, excuse me, Jean Louis, why did you just put that in my freaking why did you just put that in my field? Now I'm going to have fear. So what happens? Every single night going forward, I had fear of the freaking sharks coming. That's how powerful fear is. I was so upset, right? I was like, what the freak? I was fearless. And then someone comes in, tells me there's this story. So anywho, going forward, I had more fear in me and it's powerful. Fear is so powerful because when a storyline comes in, right, that's full of fear, you can't help but get sucked into it. You can't. And then you have to like literally rewire your brain to go back to how it was, but you can never forget. So all these stories right now are coming in for the entire human collective. Stories about not having food and all of these things, okay? Is it true? Sure. Do I have to play in it? No. Are there other truths and realities? Yes. Is it true also that I could go out in the ocean every single night, never see a shark, and no sharks are around? Yes. Is it true that sharks are all around? Yes. Welcome to the quantum field. Welcome to duality. Welcome to polarity. Welcome to being able to experience multiple realities at one time. There is no such thing as one absolute reality. We get to choose. But the power of fear is so potent that you will be pulled into it. You'll just start thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, right? So pay attention right now because fear disempowers you. Now all of a sudden something else was controlling me. This stupid story my friend told me. I was so angry. I was like, ugh. So, anywho, the other night we were in the ocean, naked, sitting there, and you're just kind of like bobbing, right? And it's like the ocean is not moving. It's just, and the stars are out, and it's warm ass water. Like I'm talking bath water. And we're just sitting there. We're pretty shallow, not so we're sitting on the sand, but we're in the water, and just our faces. And all of a sudden, it's quiet. We're not even talking. This thing pops its head up. It's black dark, pitch dark. You cannot see. All we saw was these nostril things popping up and the sound of like a whale that sprouts out water from its nose, right? It was like and the two of us freaked out and like jumped up and just started charging back, right? And as we started to kind of jump up and run, something told me to stop and just look at what it was. And I turned and looked. I mean, it was literally, you guys, I'm not joking and I'm not exaggerating. It was literally it was like not even a foot away. It literally was like, hey, what's up, guys? And it just kind of popped its head up and was like, hey, what you guys doing here? Never seen you before. Two humans jumped up and started hightail butt naked, right? But I stopped and turned around for a second because I was like, what was that? Because it didn't move very fast. And so I turned back and looked, and it was a manatee. And it was this like an 8-foot huge walrus thing, right? That was just like floating almost on the top of the water. and it was just kind of chilling. And so as I kind of recognized, I think that was a manatee. We turned around after we got to the shore, and I was like, "Dude, that was a manatee. Let's go back." Or he said, "Let's go back." I don't remember. But anyways, we started going back and we saw it. Um, and it was just this like, but it was so dark. We were in wanting to like hang out with it, but we were also freaked out because it was dark and it was like, what if it does something to us? But manatees are so freaking friendly, right? They let you touch it and all these things. But anyway, it was so freaking amazing. It was, and I've had such a connection with manatees for quite a long time, really wanting to see one. In fact, we had purchased tickets to go on like a manatee tour, and I never felt called to go. Um, and boom, this freaking manatee's like, "Yo, what's up?" And it was hilarious. It was so, so funny. Um, but anywho, what I wanted to share was, um, also, it's quite interesting that when the vibration of the planet raises and the vibration of your own body raises, um, the connection with any sort of other human other than human being becomes more intense. With animals, it becomes more intense. With with mammals, it becomes more intense. With manatees, whatever a manatee is, it becomes more intense, right? So we start to recognize that we're all connected, that we're all communicating. Um, and don't be surprised if you start recognizing that you're more telepathic now with animals, with mammals, with dolphins, with whales, with fish. I was in the ocean again. This happened. Um, I was in the ocean, and we were, it's pretty clear. The water's pretty clear where I was, and this fish, like this big, striped fish, started swimming near me. And I swear to you, I felt like I was talking to it. I swear I felt like we were telepathically communicating, and it wasn't leaving me. It was literally just doing this, like just right in front of me, like this, coming like swimming in and out, in and out, in and out. Then it would kind of circle my legs, and then it was just hanging the freak out like a dog or a cat. And it wasn't skittish, it wasn't running, it wasn't like it was just chilling. Um, and then I was like, "Wow, this is so insane. I swear to God, I'm talking to this fish right now. This fish is not leaving. This fish is hanging tough, wanting to chill with me." And then I was like, "I'm gonna move and see if it follows me." Right? And so I start moving away from it, and it just goes just follows. And then it does the same thing. It goes like this. It's just like moving back and forth directly in front of me. And then it'll circle me a little bit and then come back and directly in front of me. And I knew that like this is going to sound like cheese ball or whatever, but it was like when we start raising the frequency, the consciousness in our bodies, everything in our life changes, including the way you connect to things that are other than human, right? So pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to your own frequency throughout the day, and pay attention to how you are experiencing the world out there, because everything's changing. Everything. Um, it's fascinating. It's truly a gift. But anywho, all right. So typically when I go away on vacation and I come back, I'm really, really depressed. I get extremely depressed for almost a week. I wake up in the morning, I don't want to get out of bed. And for the past 2 years, when I would go away and come home, I knew that I would be experiencing some sort of depressive state. And so I was preparing myself to sort of settle into this, right? So when I got home yesterday, I walked into my house and I started to put away my clothes. And I live in a really quiet place. You guys know that I have no kids, I have no animals, I don't have a partner right now, and I live up in the hills in, Northern California. And I was putting my clothes away, and I noticed how silent my place was for the first time. And I've lived this way since 2017. I've lived completely alone and in absolute silence. Now I would go out and go to yoga, or I would, maybe meet up with people every once in a while. Um, but for the most part, since 2017, when I moved up to Mount Shasta, was there for about 18 months and then came to Northern California by San Francisco, I lived in absolute silence and I never realized it. I never realized how isolated my life has been and how quiet. And I said to myself, "Oh my God, I won't live this way any longer. Like I can't continue to live in this type of solitude and silence. Um, I can't do it." But I know why I was doing it. I know why I had to be in this because one, I had to write the damn book. I had to write the divine design and I couldn't have distractions. So for 4 years, that was one of the reasons. Also, I was integrating my signature. Who am I? Who am I here to be? How do I access that? How do I be in that? How do I step into it? So nothing's an accident. Nothing's a mistake in my life. Nothing's a mistake or an accident in your life. Nothing. Wherever you find yourself, there is always a bigger purpose. There's always a bigger reason for it, whether you understand it or not, and whether it's ever shown to you or not. Nothing is an accident. Nothing is a screw up. And so I noticed, like, oh my God, I've been intending. Here's the other lesson: we are intending for things in our lives, right? You're creating things in your life. We call that manifestation. I call it intention. I'm intending something in my life, and I've been intending. I don't know about you guys, but probably a lot of you have been alone, feeling very, very alone, living alone. Just there's this feeling of being alone. For me, it's been since 2017. For many of you, maybe longer, maybe less, maybe since 2020, right? And there's always a reason for solitude. There's always a reason for finding yourself alone. It creates an intense internal uh, renegotiation with yourself. Who am I? What do I want? What do I see? What do I feel? What do I believe? Who? The fastest way in is when you are in solitude. The fastest way in is when you are in silence. The fastest way in is when there are no noises and no distractions. So if you're finding yourself completely isolated right now and alone, right, and you're trying to get out of it, highly encourage you to stop fighting it. In fact, stop fighting anything that you're in. Because you are fighting against the gift that you are giving yourself. You're fighting against the gift that you're giving yourself, that you don't remember that you're giving yourself. I don't want to be alone. I hate being alone. I don't want to be in silence. I hate being in silence. Every time I came home from these trips and I felt like I was in a depressive state, I allowed myself to be in it. I surrendered to where I was. I always knew there's a reason for this. This isn't an accident. Start telling yourself, if you find yourself in situations and experiences in your life where you think something's wrong, you fucked up, you shouldn't be here. No. Put on a new lens. There's nothing wrong with where you're at. There's nothing wrong with any of it. It doesn't feel good. So when it doesn't feel good, we make it wrong. When it feels uncomfortable, we make it bad. There is nothing wrong or bad about what you are in, regardless of how bad or uncomfortable it feels. Everything is transformation. Everything is shifting. Everything is evolution. Everything is moving you. Everything. And the more you resist or fight against it and try to force yourself out of it, you will find yourself in it. You will continue to find yourself spinning in it. So there's a deep practice right now of like this surrendered intention. where you know where you are going, that you can't see it because it's energetic. All you can see is what is physically in front of you, so you believe the physicality of your reality. The physical reality is only one reality. When you intend from the quantum field, you are intending from a blind field, an energetic field that you can't see. So you have to trust that when you are intending for something, it already is in an energetic space that you can't ever see physically. And everything that is in your now is bringing you to that non physical reality that will eventually become reality. But you have to have the courage to continue to hold the intention of what you want while you allow life to unfold for you and perhaps have an absolute breakdown. So I have been intending for 2 years. I want a balance. I kept saying to myself, I want two places to be. I want a place either like this or in the mountains. And I pretty much live on a beautiful hill, silence, birds, deer, fox, you name it, freaking wild turkeys. I live in a beautiful hillside, right? And I wanted something where I was somewhere where it was more social, where I was out with people, where it was loud, and where I was able, I could be more me, more human. Um, 2 years, I intended this. And 2 years, I surrendered to where I was, knowing that no matter what, without a shadow of a doubt, I would find myself with that experience. The more that you let go of trying to control how things are going to go, how you want them to go, when you want them to be, the time frame, which is the hardest piece. Patience is everything. Surrendered patience is everything. You, the ego, you don't get to control when things unravel. You don't. The higher self is doing this for you. The higher self is doing it. So as much as there were days where I was deeply depressed when I came home, as much as there were days where I was angry that I was so isolated, so bored, so alone, right? I still knew that there would come a time where I would have the balance of two. And so when I came home yesterday and I noticed just how silent my life is. And I noticed that since 2017, I have been cocooned in my own silent world. I knew that I was done. I knew that I wasn't going to be um, living like this consistently going forward. But I still, it was just like, I don't know, maybe it's Florida, maybe it's somewhere else. I don't know. When I woke up this morning, I wasn't depressed. Do I watch TV? Yeah, I watch at night. I watch um, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I watch Dateline. I watch like I watch a lot of like what else do I watch? I watch series like Outlander, things like that. Yeah, I watch TV usually at night. Um, but I don't know what the hell I've been doing for the last 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 5, 6 years. I've just been doing this work. But anywho, I woke up this morning and I wasn't depressed. It was almost as if I had broken free from this belief that I was stuck somewhere, that I was stuck here. And I started to understand like what I had been in for so long. I started to understand it's like I couldn't really see what I was in. I couldn't see how the life I was living until yesterday when I came home. And it was like this jolted, I just shifted. I can't explain it. And I realized that what I had been intending for so long was going to be unraveling. I also know, and I do this, and I'm very intentional. I don't hold an attachment to anything. So, for instance, I'm most likely going to go back to Florida, probably for a month-long stay. I don't know where, right? I don't know. Airbnb, I have no idea. But I know that that's not the answer. So I know that it's going to shift. I know that it's going to change. It's so important, you guys, to not attach to what you think the answer is. Nothing is permanent. Nothing stays. Nothing is absolute. So if you are all of a sudden like, oh my God, this is so great. Now I'm going to be, for me, let's say, right now I'm going to be living in two places and it's going to be Florida and it's going to be here. You are setting yourself up for massive disappointment. The more you can let go of trying to figure anything out and make anything the absolute decision, the easier life's going to be for you as we continue to unravel whatever this is that we're doing. Because again, the ego is still extremely active in our lives. And the ego needs to know with absolute certainty what's unraveling, what's happening, where am I going to land? What is this going to look like? How long am I going to be there? The ego needs that. And it's your higher self that is integrating into your body right now. And it is your higher self that you are beginning to live as. And it's the higher self that doesn't care about the future. It doesn't try to figure anything out. It requires you to surrender and trust in a way that I promise you, you never have before. It requires you to let go of trying to find the answers, the reasons why. Why did this happen? Why am I in this? Why am I going through this? Higher self doesn't give a shit at all. The ego wants to know why. The ego wants to figure out. The higher self is simply trying to get you to surrender to it all. The higher self is trying to remind you that whatever it is that you are in is absolutely divine perfection. So think about, I'll just give myself an example. The last 2 years, I would go up and down, right? I would be surrendered to this absolute silence, loneliness, um, going out of my mind because I had nothing to do other than my work, to the surrendered state of it is what it is. I trust. I know. I know, I know, I know. I know that I am going to have that balance. I know that I will. And then I swing back to, I can't stand this. I don't want this. When is this going to end? And then I swing back to, this is perfect. I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm stepping into that. So there's this back and forth that I had for 2 straight years. 2 straight years. But I always held the absolute knowingness that I would have the balance of two places that I could be, because I never want to give up the silence. I love my silence. I love my solitude. I love being in nature. I love it. I'll never give it up. You are creating right now. You're creating right now. Whatever is happening in your life is your creation. You just can't see it. You can't see it. This is the challenge of the quantum field. This is the challenge of energy. It can't be physically seen. It's not tangible. You can't hold it. The more that we can remember that we are always showing ourselves whatever it is we need to see, we will continue to move into that which we are intending and creating for ourselves. And we will be wowed by ourselves. I'll give you another example. A friend of mine is preparing to kind of launch himself out into the world again. And he has all these ideas of how he wants to show up. And he's creating all this content, right? And it's like the ego is like, this is how it's going to go. And I want it to look like this. And I want it to look like this. And, and the whole time I know that if he were to just kind of relax and let go and just sort of be in the energy of whatever feels right, his higher self would show him what's next. Okay. But when you are in a controlled state, it's very difficult for the higher self to show you what's next. You have to be in a surrendered state. You have to let go of trying to control. So yesterday, um, his higher self showed him something with these children at the beach. And it was his higher self showing him his highest aligned state, the way he works with adolescents, the gift that he has, and the direction of what is next. Even if it's not next, it's what feels the highest aligned. Because I asked him, I said, what does it feel like? What did it feel like? Or he told me, I think. And he said, I can't remember the exact words, but it was basically like, I haven't felt that good in a long time. My heart was bursting open. My body was buzzing with energy. And I said, that's when you are in your signature. That's when you're in the highest aligned state. And your higher self is always trying to bring that to you. And it doesn't have anything to do with service work. It just has to do with how you are designed to show up in the world. How you are designed to show up in the world. The universe, your higher self, is always trying to wow you. Always trying to show you how you are designed to be in this world. And so it's this experience of like surrendered action, where you're surrendered to that which you can't see. You're surrendering to the higher self showing you the way, but you are continuing to take action. So my friend continued to create this content that he was going to put out, but none of it was the actual content that he would put out. The content that he's going to start with is this work with adolescents, but he didn't know it until he had this experience in the ocean yesterday. And then he felt it in his body and it was like, oh my God, this is it. And then he followed that. He followed that joy. He followed that high in the body. So you have to stay open. You have to continue to sort of move and take action, but you have to stay open. And this is with anything, whether you're going through a heartache, whether you're going through grief, whether you're going through really tight, restrictive financial experiences, um, whether your life is just, hunky dory right now. You stay surrendered while taking action, and you're surrendering to the universe, your higher self continuing to wow you, continuing to show you how you are here to be in the world and how you are here to experience the world. Because we are not, and I will say this to the day I die, we are not designed to be on this planet in suffering and struggle, even though that is what so many of us are experiencing right now. And we are remembering how to step out of that. We are remembering how to create in this quantum field. We are remembering how to allow the ego to be with us. Thank you, Imaginary Bridge, for the super chat. We are allowing the ego to be with us. Okay? But we are starting to pass the baton to the higher self. So what are you going through right now? What do you want to get out of? What is uncomfortable for you? What are you fighting against? Right? What are you intending and not believing that is going to come into your physical reality? because there is a version of you that's got you. It's got you. It's moving you. We have to stop fighting against it. We have to stop fighting against how we want things to go, how we think things should go. The more you surrender to that which you don't want and you stay open and receptive, the faster you shift into that which you're creating. The more we realize we, being the ego aspect, is not in control, the faster we move into whatever is next for us that we've created. So we have to be authentic. We have to be vulnerable. We have to be raw. We have to be honest. We have to trust the energies that we're feeling between ourselves and the world. You know, one of the things that I think is happening to so many of us, especially myself, is just becoming more and more authentically raw. Like, who am I? Who am I truly? Who am I? How do I show up in the world? How am I showing up in the world? You know, what am I resisting? What do I not want to look at? What is my intuition telling me? I'm ready to surrender and step into the unknown. Stepping into the unknown, stepping into the blind spots. Okay, that's how I like to see it. It takes it takes a uh, it takes so much trust to step into the unknown, the unseen. So much trust. You have to say yes to everything. Yes to the pain. Yes to the boredom. Yes to the fighting, wanting to get out of it. You have to say yes to it all. Yes. The more you say yes to whatever it is, the faster you'll find yourself in the reality that currently you can't see. I cannot emphasize this enough. We have to do everything differently. Everything has to be done differently now. The moment you find yourself in a very uncomfortable place, the fighting against something, the moment you are fighting against it, embrace it. Embrace it. Embrace it. If you knew that embracing it is what shifts it, would you embrace it? I could have spent the last 2 years truly fighting against what I was in and really trying to change, trying to find a new place to live, right? Trying to find new friends, traveling to try to find the next place. That feels so like effort to me. We're not designed to effort ourselves into the creation that we've already created that we can't see yet. It's not about efforting into it. That is an old programmed state of being that is infiltrated with the ego. Efforting. There's a difference between taking a surrendered action and efforting. Here's the difference. Okay. When you are efforting, if you sink deeper into effort, you're trying to get out of something. You want something so bad that you're going to effort really hard to get it. And you're not you're not listening to your energies. You're not listening to intuition when you effort. Efforting truly is running from that which you're in that you don't want to be in. Surrendered action is very different. Surrendered action is I am where I am. I am surrendered to where I am. I don't have to like it. I get to feel it all, but I'm surrendered to it. And I'm going to take small baby steps action in a receptive and open state towards what I want, knowing that I'm not in charge and that I don't know how to get there. Efforting thinks they know how to get there. When you effort, you think you know the answer. I'm telling you right now, you don't know the answer. You don't know the how, why, when, where, any of that. Now, in the older programs, there are many, many, many teachers that teach how to effort yourself into things. And it works and it happens, but it's not the highest aligned state for you. You can create, manifest, and do all of this stuff. It's not hard, but it's not highest aligned. Highest aligned is going to give you this high feeling in your body. Highest aligned is going to stop you from wanting and desiring so much all these external things. Highest aligned is going to show you how powerful and creative you are. Highest aligned is going to make you realize that you are empowered and that there is nothing to be afraid of. When you are manifesting and forcing and efforting your entire life, you are afraid of what you are actually in. And so you are constantly trying to manifest and create outside of yourself so that you can literally suffocate what needs to be felt and seen so that you can step into the highest aligned state that you're here to be. So pay attention to the efforting that you're doing. It's a fine line between the surrendered action and the efforting. When you are in a surrendered action state, you are feeling everything. You are listening to resonance. You're listening to intuition. What are you feeling in this moment? My friend yesterday, right? He's at the beach. He meets these two kids. They start talking to him. He starts talking to whatever. They start having this conversation. His entire body lights up. He's feeling. He's in resonance. He realizes, oh my God, there is something here. There's an activation that right there. He's letting go of trying to control any of it, but he's taking action. So we have to let go of how we think things are running, but you still take action towards things. Does this make sense? It's very, very important. You're being asked, so many of us are being asked to step out of the old ways. And it's not easy because the old ways that we have been in, that people still teach in and talk about and write books on, is escaping what we don't want to experience and feel. I'm going to revert back to what I said in the very beginning of this episode. Every single thing that you feel right now, every single thing that you are going through right now is the gift that is bringing you to your highest aligned state. And if you try to change it, you are changing the trajectory of your highest aligned state. And you will constantly be craving more. And you will find yourself in this loop that the external world is what is satiating the hunger for being able to feel free and empowered in this world. The easiest way for you to feel empowered, free, the creator, aligned, is that you surrender to every single thing you're in. And you realize there is absolutely nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. Then you stop chasing. Then you stop efforting. Then you start allowing. You start to allow. You start trusting. You start letting go in ways that you never have before. You have all your temper tantrums. I can't tell you the amount of times that I came home from trips and was very, very depressed because I didn't wanna be here. I didn't wanna be alone in my house. I didn't wanna wake up and have another day of absolute aloneness. I didn't. But I knew that there was nothing that I could fight against. There was no reason to fight against it. It's what I was in. It's what I was in. And I knew that nothing was permanent. Even though it may feel like you are in Groundhog's Day. And I knew there would come a time where I would be living in more of a balanced state. And it appeared these last 3 weeks in Florida. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't efforting. Here's the other thing that happened. Because I live my life in a very flow state, meaning I truly swear to God, I truly just follow resonance as much as I can, which means that I truly just follow what feels most aligned for me. I was supposed to go to Florida and stay at my friend's house, right? That was the plan. That's what I thought I was going to be doing. But by the second day, let's say I got there Sunday, by Monday, the next day, I was like, oh, I'm not staying here. I'm going to a hotel. I'm going to go to a hotel for a couple days. That's all I knew. What I knew on Monday was I was going to go to a hotel on Tuesday for a couple of days. That was it. How did I know that? Because that's what I felt. I could have said, this person's going to get upset with me. I don't have the money. This is weird. What if it's more than a couple days? How do I know how many days? I could have done all of that. I could have stopped myself. Now, remember, my intention from 2 years ago was to find another place to be off and on so that I could have a balance. That's my intention. I have been practicing for 2 years how to live in resonance, which is I trust what I am feeling. I trust what I'm feeling. I follow what I feel, regardless of the logic, reasoning, or how people are going to respond. So here I am in Florida thinking I'm going to stay at my friend's house. And the resonance is get out now, go to this hotel. Here's the hotel you're going to, stay there. I stay for 2 days. 3 weeks later, I'm leaving. And 3 weeks later, I come back and I realize that I have found a place that I can go now, whether it's an Airbnb, whether it's a rental, whatever it's going to be. But I found it because I listened to my resonance on a trip that told me to go to a hotel instead of staying at my friend's house. If I was in control, I would have said, no, I plan to stay at my friend's. I'm going to stay at my friend's. It doesn't make any sense. Do you understand the power of control? It will stop you from stepping into what you created and what's waiting for you. If I had stayed in a controlled logic sense, I wouldn't have found the click in aligned state of here it is. This is now being delivered to you. It is time now to step into it. How do I know it's time now to step into it? Because I felt it. Because every day that I was there, I was feeling more and more of, oh my God, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. And my guides are like, it's already yours. You don't need it. It's here. Then the logic comes in. Well, this doesn't make sense. How am I going to do this? How am I going to make this? All these things start to come in. You start to try to freaking make sense of it and have logic around it. None of that matters. From the highest aligned state, this is very difficult for us to step into, but from the highest aligned state, we are always taken care of. It will always be shown to us, always. It will always be shown to you. It will unravel for you. It's not meant to be effortless. I mean, it's meant to be effortless. No struggle. Thank you, Melon, for the super chat. No struggle, no efforting, no fight against. So I'm in this state of like, okay, I don't exactly know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go home for a little bit. Again, I'm stepping out of trying to control it. I looked into some Airbnbs. Am I going to rent? What am I going to do? Nothing resonated. So what did I do? I came home. Now, based on the last 2 years of coming home, I thought I was going to be depressed. And I woke up higher than a kite because I realized, oh my God, I have clicked in to what I was intending for 2 years. And I'm still not staying in a controlled state because that could change in any moment. I never controlled it. I never said it was going to be Florida. Never. I never said it was going to be in the place that I found in Florida. Never. And I still don't. I still don't. Everything is fleeting. Everything is movement. Everything changes. Everything. 3 months from now, all of a sudden, the aligned state could be in freaking Portugal. I don't know. If you continue to stay in a controlled state, demanding that things be a certain way and trying to control it, I'm telling you, you are not going to find yourself in the intention that you are setting. You have to let go. You have to trust in the unseen. You have to follow resonance. You have to follow what feels right no matter what anyone says or thinks about you. And that may be one of the hardest things. Because if you guys were watching Untangled the last couple of weeks, you know that I didn't go to Miami, right? I didn't, all these things that I had planned, I didn't do. And I was like, I'm crazy. My friends think I'm nuts because I was bringing myself into what I was intending for 2 years. And if I had not, if I had let my shame, my I should do this, these people are expecting me to do this. If I had done that, I may not have aligned into what I was creating for 2 years. And even that's going to change. Don't hold on to anything as permanent. Let the universe and your higher self wow you. Feel everything, all of it, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Take surrendered action. Watch when you're trying to effort. Have compassion for yourself through all of it. Deep compassion for yourself and humanity. This month right now, I've spoken about this. If you didn't see my Instagram live yesterday, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram. It's talking about the energies that we're in right now. We're always in energies. It's a ridiculous statement. So stupid, the energies we're in. But right now, we are remembering on such a deep level who we are. We are remembering on such a deep level what we're here to do, what we're here to be, how we're here to experience life. And all of these limiting thoughts are going to come in. All of these fear-based stories are going to come in to distract you, to distract humanity from stepping into the magical magician, master human that we're designed to be. Stepping out of fear, creating our reality. Any story that holds fear that you are listening to is designed to disempower you and create divide. And if you are allowing fear and divide to be a part of your reality, then you are distracting yourself from the power of who you are here to be on the planet. Pay attention. Fear and divide will continue to arise in the human collective, in the external world, over and over and over and over and over and over and over, for the sole purpose of disempowering us, fighting against each other so that we don't go inward and realize how freaking powerful we are and that we don't need to ever be controlled again. The more we realize the power of who we are, the power of who we are, the more we shift this entire planet. and it's baby steps. Because what happens is the more you follow resonance, the more I follow what feels right to me, the more I am in an aligned state. The more I'm in an aligned state, the more I am in a higher frequency. The more I'm in a higher frequency, the less I will allow something outside of me to control me or tell me who I am, tell me what I need to think, tell me what I need to feel, tell me what I need to eat, tell me what I need to listen to, tell me that I need to listen to these fear-based, stupid fear-based divided narratives that are being thrown at us so that I can argue with other people because they don't have the same truth as me. I don't give a shit. Have whatever truth you want. Everything is designed to bring us back to ourselves so that we can stay empowered, make choice, and step out of fear and divide. The entire planet is having an opportunity for this over and over and over again. What are you choosing? What are you believing? Why? Why are you listening to the freaking news? Letting you continue to find everything that the news tells you is divide. Everything. Whatever community you're in is going to create divide. The spiritual community has massive amounts of division. There are teachers that will tell their audience not to listen to other teachers, that this teacher is bad, this person is good, this person is evil, this person is dark. The religious community, the health community, the scientific community, divide is everywhere. It's everywhere. Pay attention. It disempowers you and it controls you. And it controls you. Yeah, addiction is a really challenging one. You know, one of the things that I've done with my addiction, my eating disorder is it's not my eating disorder. The eating disorder that I had, that I was experiencing for a very long time, is that I always held myself. I always had the knowingness. I always saw myself not in the addiction over and over. And that was a huge piece for me in my healing, was knowing that I wasn't it and knowing that there was a version of me that was no longer doing it. And I really held that over and over and over and over and over, over. Yeah. Anyway, we're almost done. 2 minutes left. Should I be thankful for experiencing these emotions? Hell yeah. Dude, I'm thankful every day for everything. It's not easy. And I fight against it and I yell and I have temper tantrums when I'm feeling things I don't like, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful every day. I'm so grateful. I'm not making this up. I'm so grateful for what I have gone through and what I continue to go through. Thank you so much, Danielle, for the super chat. I'm grateful for it. Everything is a gift for us to shift. Everything. If there's one thing I would love humanity to remember, it's that nothing is happening to you. Nothing is happening to you. It's all happening for you. Truly, that's the truest statement. It's a gift. What are you seeing within yourself that you don't want to see? What emotions do you not want to feel? Feel them. What triggers are coming up that you don't want to acknowledge? Recognize it. What behaviors are showing up that you don't want to do? Observe them. What limiting beliefs, thoughts that you have about yourself and what you can or cannot do are coming up? Observe them. See them. Be in awe of it. Holy shit. Look at how I have been. Look at how I've lived. Look at what I run from. Look at what I don't want to feel. Look at what I don't want to see. Wow. Do I have the courage to now see it, to look at it, to feel it, to be in it? You better. because that's why it's showing up, to show you how powerful you are, that nothing controls you. Emotions don't control you. Addictions don't control you. Behaviors don't control you. We think they do because we don't remember how powerful we are. And that we live in a quantum field where everything is always changing. Nothing is permanent or stagnant. The reason we are so afraid of that which we don't want to feel is because we believe that something is permanent. Nothing's permanent. And nothing that is occurring in and within you is designed to tear you down or break you down. It's designed to lift you up because it's showing you whatever it is that is holding you back from becoming who you are here to be. Free, sovereign, empowered, strong, creator, all of that. That's the truest truth. So you're going to show yourself over and over and over and over and over again what you need to see, feel, hear, understand, remember, be in, so that you can choose to step out of it. And the way you choose to step out of it is you have to see it, you have to feel it, and then you say, I'm done. And you say, I'm done 17,865 times until you're actually done. Nothing is overnight. We live in a culture and in a world where we want things to happen overnight. We want to bypass. We want to take a pill. You can't. This is an energetic world. You have to see and feel everything in order to shift out of it. Period. And unfortunately, we have been living in a programmed world where we believe there is a quick fix, where we believe that we can just take these things and all of a sudden we're done and we're out of it and life is great. You got to go deep. You got to go in. You got to feel it. You got to see it internally and in the external world. The things that happen to you that seem horrific are not going to make sense to you. And you get to have your human emotions around it. Being robbed by someone sucks. You don't have to have the why. You may not know why you were robbed by somebody, but can you feel it? Can you give yourself compassion? Can you feel the emotions around it? What is the lens that you're using with it? Is it asking you to look at life in a different way? I don't know, but I can tell you that nothing happens by accident. And there's horrific things that are happening on this planet right now for the purpose of us evolving out of it. For the purpose of us evolving out of this. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of this episode 10. If it resonates, please pass it along to other people if you think that they would resonate with listening to it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And what else? I think that's it for now. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, daily. And keep being you. Keep being all of you. I love you.